After the killing of Tyre Nichols in Memphis by police officers, criminal justice reform, policing reform is back in the national conversation in a way that it hasn't been in months, as the liberal criminal justice platform has sort of lost favor more broadly. How do you think Republicans and advocates for a tougher approach to law enforcement can navigate advancing that against such a raw emotional background for a lot of people?
Well, I mean, I think you can have two truths at the same time. You can absolutely support law enforcement, recognize they have the hardest job in America. I go to work in the morning, I put on a coat and tie. They go to work in the morning, they have to put on a bulletproof vest. There's not a job like it in America. You can recognize that they need their support, but also recognize, and I think as Republicans, we should recognize this, that we should hold law enforcement to a high standard. They're the only individuals in our society that have a monopoly on the use of violence. That means we're going to hold them to a high standard, as we should. What happened in Memphis was tragic. And as Republicans who are paranoid about government overreach, we should hold people in government, including law enforcement, to a very high standard, given the enormous power that we have entrusted them to. Now, I will say this, working in the capacity I have, with the number of friends that I know in law enforcement, the people most angry about the video in Memphis are cops. They are so angry at it. I've talked to and received text messages from friends in law enforcement. They're upset about it and recognize that this is a small percentage of police officers that, though they should be fully held accountable and prosecuted, just like was done in the George Floyd murder, but also recognize that the vast majority of cops do the right thing under the extraordinarily difficult position. And the reason why we know this is, if you remember a couple of years ago, everybody was talking about we need body cam footage, which I always supported the idea of body cam, because I said it's going to show overwhelmingly cops are doing the right thing, which, guess what? It has. If you notice, a lot of left-wing groups don't talk about the body cam footages as much because it overwhelmingly backs up and confirms the officer's version of events, whereas before it was oftentimes the officer's word against a defendant's word. And so body cam footage, as difficult as sometimes it is, I know that the technology can be cumbersome, but it has overwhelmingly been very, very helpful for law enforcement and great for prosecutors. A number of prosecutors I've talked to have said, yeah, but as before, the defense attorney would try to fight me and try to challenge or do a suppression, and then we turn over the body cam footage and it shows, maybe your client wasn't being very honest with you on what was said and what interacted with the officers. So overwhelmingly, body cam footage shows that our cops overwhelmingly are doing the right thing. Now, those small percentage of cops that are the bad cops, we hold them accountable, we prosecute them, we get them off our force, because it dirties the reputation of our good cops. And our good cops are the ones that hate the bad cops the most. That's been my experience.